physics. Hi everyone, welcome to the session of EC Electronic Circuit Analysis. In this class, we will learn about harmonic distortion in class B power ampere and complementary symmetry class B power ampere. In previous session, we have covered push-pull class B power ampere. That is, what is the efficiency of push-pull ampere and what is the theoretical values, theoretical efficiency of push-pull ampere. So that topic we have covered in previous session. Now we will see the distortion, that is harmonic distortion in class B, and the second type of class B, that is complementary symmetry class B power ampere in this session. So this is harmonic distortion means we know because of harmonic distortion the output is not exactly replicated as the input signal because of some harmonics. Okay, so this one is also called as amplitude distortion. And in previous session in class A also we have derived the equation for harmonic distortion. Similarly, in class B amplifier also we have some distortion that is called harmonic distortion. So what is the harmonic distortion? What is the theoretical value of the distortion? So we will calculate the distortion here. So here in class B amplifier we are using two transistors. Okay, so because of those two transistors only we can get the full cycle at the output of class B amplifier. Okay, because the operating point is located at the x-axis, is located on the x-axis. Because of that position, if you use one transistor, we can get only one half cycle. So in order to get the full cycle at the output, we are using two transistors. So here, let us consider the base input current of first transistor, that is IB1. The base input current of first transistor, that is IB1. Mathematically, that is represented as IBM cos omega t. Similarly, the base current of second transistor, that is IB2. IB2 is equal to minus IBM cos omega t. So why we are getting minus IBM cos omega t? So in push-pull amplifier, we know for first transistor, that is for Q1, the input signal, for if you are applying some positive half cycle at the input, then at the base of first transistor, we can get the positive half cycle. And at the base of second transistor, because of the center taper transformer, that is shifted. Okay, so because of that will be shifted as negative half cycle. We know the operation of push-pull in previous session we have covered. Okay, so that means if you are applying some positive half cycle at the input of first transistor Q1, the same signal will appear. So that is IBM cos omega t. That is a mathematical expression. And at the same time, the base current of second transistor is minus IBM cos omega t because the signal is shifted. That is, the positive half cycle will become a negative half cycle because of the center taper transformation. So that's why we are getting some minus sign in the expression. Okay, so this is the base current of first transistor and this is the base current of second transistor. So we know the structure of push-pull amplifier. So this is the push-pull configuration. So if you are applying some positive signal or input signal, that will be exactly passes to transistor Q1 as positive half cycle. That is at point A, we can get positive half cycle only. But at point B, it will be shifted as negative half cycle because of this center taper transformer. Okay, so that's why the expressions are IBM cos omega t for the first transistor, and for the second transistor that is minus IBM cos omega. Okay, so next, due to the nonlinear characteristics, the collector current of transistors can be expressed as in terms of harmonic components. So if you are applying some current, that is if you are applying some base current as IBM cos omega t, then the collector current of first transistor is IC1 is equal to ICQ plus B0 plus B1 cos omega t plus B2 cos 2 omega t plus B3 cos 3 omega. So these are all harmonics, cos 2 omega t, cos 3 omega t, cos 4 omega t. So this is the representation or mathematical expression of collector current of first transistor in terms of harmonics. Okay, and next similarly, if IB2, this is not IB1, IB2. So IB2 is minus IBM cos omega t. Minus IBM cos omega t is, we can also write it as IBM cos omega t plus phi, because cos 90 plus theta is minus cos theta. Okay, so that is, this can also be written as IBM cos omega t plus phi. Phi means 180 degrees. Okay, so sorry, cos 180 degrees plus theta becomes cos theta. So that's why this expression can also be written as cos omega t plus. Okay, so this is the base current of second transistor. If it is the base current of second transistor, then the collector current becomes IC2 is equal to ICQ plus B0 plus B1 cos omega t plus phi plus B2 cos 2 into omega t plus phi plus B3 cos 3 into omega t plus phi, and so on. Okay, and this can also be simplified as ICQ plus B0 plus B1 into cos omega t plus phi. So that is cos 180 plus theta minus cos theta plus B2 cos 2 into 2 pi plus omega t, that is 360 plus omega t, that is cos 2 omega t, and so on. Okay, so this is the expression for collector current, and this is the for second transistor, and this is the expression for collector current of first transistor, and those two currents flows in the load resistance. Okay, load resistance means we are connecting load at the output. So at the load, what is the current? The current is represented as IL. So the load current IL is equal to the difference of those two currents, that is IC1 minus IC2. So what is IC1 here? IC1 is this expression, ICQ plus B0 plus B1 cos omega t plus B2 cos 2 omega t, and so on. Minus what is IC2? ICQ plus B0 minus B1 cos omega t plus B2 cos 2 omega t, and so on. Okay, so if you simplify the equation, then we have ICQ minus ICQ. So these two terms will be cancelled. B0, B0 cancel. And B1 cos omega t minus of minus B1 cos omega t becomes 2 into B1 cos omega t. And these two terms cancel. And next, B3 cos 3 omega t minus of minus B3 cos 3 omega t is plus 2 into B3 cos 3 omega, and so on. Okay, so this is the load current or the output current of class B push-pull amplifier. Okay, so here, if you observe the expression, the load current is in terms of odd harmonics, that is cos 3 omega t, cos 5 omega t, cos 7 omega t, and so on. That is the even harmonic terms, that is 2 omega t, 4 omega t, 6 omega t, and so on. So those terms get eliminated. If you observe the expression, in this expression or in the expression of load current or output current, we have only the odd harmonics, and the even harmonics get cancelled. So similarly, DC component also cancelled, that is B0 term also cancelled. Okay, so hence the total distortion is less compared to class A. In class A, we have even harmonics and odd harmonics, that is B1 cos omega t, B2 cos 2 omega t, B3 cos 2, and so on. So in this case, but in class B amplifier, the even harmonics get cancelled, get eliminated, and we have only the odd harmonics at the output. That is the output current is affected only by the odd harmonics. Okay, there is no even harmonic component. Okay, and because of this situation, the efficiency also increases. So that's why the efficiency of class B is 78.5%. So compared to class A, we can get some higher efficiency. And coming to the distortion, in order to find out the distortion due to third harmonic component, that is because of 3 omega, the distortion becomes D3 is equal to mod B3 by B1 into 100. Similarly, due to the fifth harmonic component, that is 5 omega, the distortion becomes D5 is equal to mod B5 by B1 into 100, and so on. So that means we have only distortions due to odd harmonics, that is B3, B5, B7, and so on. Okay, and the total distortion becomes D is equal to square root of D3 square, D5 square, D7 square, and so on. But in class A, we have D2 square, D3 square, D4 square, D5 square, D6 square. That means there are even and odd harmonics we have, and in this case, for class B, we have only the odd harmonics. the even harmonics or eliminated. So that is about class B push-pull amplifier. And next, what are the advantages and disadvantages of push-pull amplifier? So advantages of push-pull amplifier are, first one, the efficiency is much higher than class A amplifier. So compared to class A, the efficiency is more because in this case we have 78.5%. So next, when there is no input signal, the power dissipation is zero. When we are not applying any input signal, there is no power dissipation. That is, power dissipation is zero. And next, here the even harmonics get cancelled. We know because in class B power amplifier, the even harmonics get cancelled. We have only the odd harmonics. So that means this reduces total harmonic distortion. Some harmonics are eliminated. That is, some frequency components which causes distortion get eliminated. So that means automatically the distortion, total distortion also reduces. So that's why efficiency also increases. Okay. So next, as the DC current components flows in opposite direction through the primary winding. So here the DC current flows in opposite direction in the primary winding. So there is no possibility of saturation. This is saturation. Next, ripples present in supply voltage also eliminate. We have some ripples in the supply, that ripples can also eliminate. Next, due to transformer, impedance matching is possible. Here we are using transformer, so that's why there is some impedance matching. Okay, impedance matching is possible. That is, load impedance is matched with the output impedance. And next, disadvantages of push-pull amplifier. First disadvantage is, here we are using two center tapped transformers. Two center tapped transformers are necessary. So here, whenever we are using transformers, it makes the circuit bulky and costly. If you are using some transformer, and that will lead to the circuit becomes bulky and also costly. Now next, frequency response is also poor. Frequency response is also poor. So these are the disadvantages of push-pull class B power amplifier. So these disadvantages can be overcome in complementary symmetry class B power amplifier. Okay. So this disadvantage of push-pull amplifier can be overcome by using complementary symmetry class B amplifier. What is complementary symmetry amplifier? Complementary symmetry class B amplifier. Instead of using same type of transistors, we are using two different types of transistors. That is, one is NPN, another one is PNP. That type of class B or configuration is known as complementary symmetry class B power amplifier. Whereas in push-pull amplifier, we are using same type of transistors. That is, we are using either NPN or PNP. Two transistors may be NPN or two transistors may be PNP. In this case, one is NPN, another one is PNP. Okay, and this is a transformerless circuit. Here we are not using any transformer. Okay, because that is the problem in push-pull. That is that problem can be overcome in this case. So that's why there is no transformer. But here we are using common collector configuration, because with common emitter configuration it becomes difficult to match the output impedance for the maximum power transfer without any output transfer. So that is, with common emitter configuration, if you are using some CE configuration, then what happens? The impedance, output impedance cannot be matched with the load impedance. It becomes difficult to match the output impedance of circuit with the load impedance. If those impedances match, that is, if those two impedances are similar, then only we have some maximum power at the output. That is the maximum power transfer theory. So in order to get the maximum power at the output, the impedances should be matched. So that is, those two impedances must be same. But if you are using common emitter configuration, that is not possible, and hence we are using common collector configuration or emitter follower configuration. We know common collector configuration has lowest output impedance, hence the impedance matching is possible. We know loudspeaker or the load impedance is very low. That impedance should be matched with the output impedance of the circuit. Okay, and if you are using CE configuration, that is not possible. And CC configuration means the CC configuration output impedance is low, and hence that will be matched with the load impedance. The load impedance is also low, and CC configuration output impedance is also low. So there is a matching of impedances, and we can get the maximum power at the output. Okay, so that's why we are using CC configuration in the complementary symmetry class B power amplifier. This is the structure of class B power amplifier, complementary symmetry class B. So in this case, we are using two transistors, Q1 and Q2. So if you observe the figure, Q1 is NPN, Q2 is PNP. One is NPN, another one is PNP. And here we are using two supplies. One supply is VCC, another one is minus VCC. Plus VCC is applied to Q1 and minus VCC is applied to Q2. And these two transistors are in common collector configuration. Because this is collector, this is emitter and this is collector. Collector is common. Here the input signal is applied to the base and output is taken at the emitter. Collector is common. In this case also, input signal is applied to base and at the emitter we are taking the output. Okay, so that is collector is common. So these two transistors are in common collector configuration, and we are applying two supply voltages, two DC voltages, and there is no transformer here. There is no transformer here. So the problem of push-pull can be overcome. Okay. Next, coming to the operation. So in the positive half cycle of the input signal, the transistor Q1 gets driven into active region. That is, it starts conducting. Q1 is on. The same signal gets applied to the base of Q2. The same signal is applied to the base of Q2, but as it is of complementary type, remains in off condition during positive half cycle. Okay, so this results into positive half cycle across the loop. So if you are applying some positive half cycle, at the input, then because of positive half cycle, that is transferred to transistor Q1, and this is NPN transistor. When you are applying some positive signal, this will be on. The transistor Q1 is on and it will conduct, and we can get some signal, some positive half cycle at the load resistance. Okay, but whereas coming to the second transistor, that is Q2, that positive signal is also applied to the PNP transistor. This is PNP transistor. If you are applying some positive signal to the base, then it is in off condition. It is not conducting, so it is in off condition. So there is no output due to this transistor. So that is, we have some current or we have some signal at the load resistance due to transistor Q1 only when we are applying some positive half cycle at the input. And during the negative half cycle, that is when we are applying some negative half cycle, then what happens? The negative half cycle passes to NPN transistor. During the negative half cycle, the transistor Q2 becomes, or Q2 gets biased into conduction, or Q2 becomes on. Because of negative half cycle, here we are applying negative half cycle to the PNP transistor. This will be on, and we have some load current at the load resistance due to this transistor. And at that situation, if you are applying some negative signal to the base of NPN transistor, it is in off condition. That is, Q1 is in off condition. There is no signal due to Q1 or transistor Q1. So thus a complete cycle of input, for a complete cycle of input, we can get a complete cycle of output at the load resistance Rm. Okay. So this is the positive half cycle operation. That is, if you are applying some positive half cycle, then it will be passed to Q1, and it will be Q1 is on, and the same signal appears at the load resistance, and we have some signal at the output, positive signal at the output. Okay, and there is no signal due to Q2 because during the positive half cycle it is in off condition, and during the negative half cycle, that is, if you are applying some negative half cycle, it is passed to Q1. If it is negative signal, NPN transistor is in off condition, and this negative signal or negative half cycle is applied to Q2 also, and if it is PNP transistor, Q2 is on and it conducts, and we have some signal at the load resistance due to Q2 because of Q2. Okay, so in this situation, Q1 is off, Q2 is on, and If you are applying some full cycle at the input, we can get positive half cycle due to Q1. Because of positive half cycle, Q1 is on and the signal appears. So that is, we have some signal at the output due to Q1, and at that condition Q2 is on. During the negative half cycle, Q1 is off and Q2 is on, and we have some signal at the output due to second transistor Q2. Okay, so thus we can get some complete cycle at the output for a complete cycle input. Okay, so that is about complementary symmetry amplifier. So next, advantages and disadvantages of complementary symmetry amplifier. So what are the advantages we have? First one, the circuit is transformerless circuit. We are not using any transformer in the circuit. So that's why its weight and size and cost are also less. So if you are using transformer, the cost will be high. Weight also, that is the circuit also bulky. Here there is no transformer. So that's why weight, size and cost are also less. And next, due to common collector configuration, impedance matching is possible. Here we are using common collector configuration. We are not using any transformer, and here the impedance matching is possible because of CC configuration. In push-pull amplifier, the impedance matching is possible because of the transformer. In this case, impedance matching is possible because of CC configuration. Okay. Next, the frequency response improves due to transformerless class B power amplifier. We know if you are using some transformer, we have some fluctuations in the frequency response. We can get some higher peaks at some position or at some frequency. We can get some lower amplitude at some frequency. That means the frequency response is not flat. Okay, but in this case, that is frequency response is poor whenever we are using some transformer. But in this case, there is no transformer. That means frequency response also increases. And next, disadvantages. What are the disadvantages of class B complementary symmetry? So the circuit needs two separate voltage supply. So if you observe the figure, here we are applying two supplies. One is VCC and the other one is minus VCC. It needs two supply voltages. That is one disadvantage. Next, output is distorted due to crossover distortion. So here also we are facing some distortion, that is called crossover distortion. In class B amplifier, we have some distortion. That distortion is called crossover distortion. What is meant by crossover distortion? So how the distortion happens? So this topic we will cover in next session. So let's remember, one of the disadvantage of class B amplifier is we have some crossover distortion. Okay. Next, comparison between push-pull class B and the complementary symmetry class. What is the comparison of push-pull amplifier and complementary symmetry amplifier? So if you compare these two amplifiers, first one is, in push-pull amplifier, both transistors are same transistors. Okay, so that is both are either PNP or both are either NPN. Okay, but whereas in complementary symmetry, transistors are in different configurations. So that is complementary type. One is NPN. If you are using one transistor is NPN transistor and the other transistor becomes PNP transistor. Okay. So that is the difference, first difference. And second difference. In push-pull amplifier, we are using transformer. The transformer is used to connect the load resistance RL to the circuit. So here we are using two transformers at the input and at the output also. And next, in the complementary symmetry amplifier, this is a transformerless circuit. There is no transformer. Okay. And next, third difference is impedance matching is possible due to the output transformer. Here the impedance matching is possible due to the transformer. The load resistance impedance is matched with the output impedance because of this transformer. But whereas in this case, complementary symmetry configuration, the impedance matching is possible because of the common collector configuration. We are using CC configuration for the impedance matching. Next, fourth difference is frequency response is poor. Why it is poor? Because here we are using transformer. Because of the transformer, frequency response is poor. But in this case, there is no transformer, so frequency response is improved. Next point, due to transformer, the circuit is bulky, costly and heavy. We know if you are using transformer, the circuit becomes bulky, costly and heavy also. And in this case, there is no transformer, so the circuit is not bulky and costly. The cost is also low. Next, in push-pull amplifier, there is no dual power supply. We are using only a single power supply. We are using only VCC plus VCC. Dual power supply is not needed in this case, but in complementary symmetry amplifier, dual power supply is required. We are applying two DC sources, DC power supplies. One is plus VCC, another one is minus VCC. Okay, so that is here dual power supply is required. Next, last difference is efficiency is higher than class A. Compared to class A, efficiency is more in push-pull amplifier, and in this case, efficiency is higher than push-pull amplifier. Compared to push-pull, in complementary symmetry, we can get more efficiency. Okay, so that is the difference between push-pull and complementary symmetry power amplifiers. Thank you.